We're good to go.
Thank you. You're welcome. Hey, Dan, how you doing?
Hold on one second.
Okay.
Okay, now I can talk. I hope you're able to hear me okay.
I can hear you. I can hear you. We're in good shape there. You can hear me for the, okay? We'll try to get.
I can hear you fine.
Perfect. We're gonna try to get through the voting as fast as possible, just because I know you gotta get back in there. So with that being said, I'm gonna call the May 24th, 2022 meeting of Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to order. All please rise to the pledge of allegiance, followed by a brief moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogler,
I'm here by phone.
Commissioner Boyd.
Here. I'll note we're being live streams being sent out to our YouTube. Row officer reports and comments. I'm looking around the audience today. I'm not seeing any representatives, row officers. Public comments, out of respect for Dan's time today, I'd ask that this first public comment period be limited to anything that's on the agenda. If you have anything, any issues to bring before the board that relate to the agenda. If not, I'd ask that you wait until the end, if it's something more general. So with that being said, are there any individuals that have public comment for anything currently on our agenda?
Chairman, that's very thoughtful and considerate of you, but no, I'm fine.
You sure?
We're doing fine down here, so whatever you have to do.
All right, I am gonna keep it to the agenda just for today though.
So does that mean that he's not gonna listen to the end when we make public comment? I'm not sure about why the order would be different.
Gary, this is what we're doing then.
Okay, is that your public, is that your policy? Is that on your policy?
We're moving on. Fiscal and contractual. Warrant register, we're gonna go May 9th, May 12th, and May 19th. Is there any issues on the warrant register, Dan?
No, I looked them over. Vanessa gave me the printed agenda yesterday. I looked over the warrant registers last evening. I didn't see any concerns, so if you're so willing, I would be glad to make a motion to accept the warrant registers.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have minutes from Tuesday, May 10th, 2022. And again, Dan, if you check those over, I'll take a motion.
I did look them over, and I'll be glad to make the motion for the adoption of the minutes.
All right, I'll second that. We have a motion and a second for discussion. Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Objection.
Aye.
Aye.
Objection.
Motion carries. Objection noted. Presentation of written communications. We have 3.
There's actually 4.
Oh, 4.
It's on the next page.
Thank you.
Yep.
One is from Hanson, Aggregates, Pennsylvania. Proposes surface blasting in compliance with all applicable state and federal laws. Blasting will occur on the McQuiston large non-coal surface mine in North Beaver and Mahoning Townships, Lawrence County, located approximately 1 mile northeast of Bessemer, west of the intersection of Hoffmaster Road and Smalls Ferry Road, on the McCord Farm Trust LLC and Hanson Aggregates Pennsylvania LLC properties. So we've got that. We have one from Frank B. Taylor Engineering. Purpose is to inform you of the intent of Mark R. Nordsman application for new national pollutant discharge elimination system, individual permit discharge sewage effluent from small flow treatment facilities, and a new water quality management permit to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection for the facility located on 233 Forest Road, Newcastle, PA, the municipality being Neshannock Township. Up next, we have a permit modification for International Metal Reclamation in Elwood City Borough, Lawrence County, for a Class 1 permit modification storage area reduction. And lastly, we have a residual waste general permit from International Metals Reclamation Company on 1 and Metco Drive in Elwood City. Dan, any questions, comments on any of this correspondence?
No, sir. I have those documents in my packet and I've looked them over, and whenever you're ready, I'll be glad to make a motion to accept them.
I'll take that motion.
So moved.
I'll second the motion. Second, any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Staff reports. Any member of staff here that has anything to report above and beyond what's already on the agenda? Seeing none, commissioner reports and comments. Commissioner Spielvogel is at a conference in Penn State today. She's unable to be with us. I have no comments. Dan, I know you're down in Pittsburgh at your RIDC board meeting. Do you have any comments you wish to make?
Just very briefly, I appreciate your allowing me to participate in this manner. The RIDC board, which is of course the Regional Industrial Development Corporation board of directors, meets 4 times a year, and they of course own a facility in Lawrence County, the RIDC Business Park on State Route 18 in Shannock Township. The board is primarily folks from Allegheny County, although Morgan, you would of course know Commissioner Leslie Oshie from Butler County. She sits on the board.
Absolutely.
And I'm where I'm sitting, I'm in an office that I can watch the board meeting as we speak. And I think it's interesting to note that traditionally they've always allowed the mayor of Pittsburgh to be a member of the board. And in all the years I've been on this board, the mayor never came to a meeting until today. The new mayor of Pittsburgh, Ed Gainey, is, in fact, I'm looking at him as we speak. He is here at the board meeting today, and everybody was very pleased about that. So I apologize I can't be with you, but I think next week, hopefully, Morgan will be able to all keep you company in person.
Well, I'll tell you, I miss you guys. But no,
Thank you.
we're certainly thankful for your service on that board. You're in Pittsburgh right now, promoting economic development for Lawrence County. And the fact that you have a seat on that board is one of, like you mentioned, very few people outside of Allegheny County proper have a seat on that board. That in itself is an incredible resource for Lawrence County. And again, thank you for your service on that board. It's without it, we wouldn't be as far as we are in Mahoning Township. And we're certainly great. We're thankful for our partnership with our IDC and our different economic endeavors.
Thank you.
Up next, and again, I'm going to try to get through this pretty expeditiously here. First up, planning. Amy, we have a resolution for discussion possible approval enter an agreement with LCSS for our rental assistance program. I'm assuming this is ERAP.
Yeah, and it's just an extension. They have installed some extra funds that they would like to be able to use and want to extend it till the end of the year. So pretty easy.
Any questions on that, Dan?
No, sir.
All right, they've administered our ERAP program from the beginning, and so far they've done a phenomenal job. They also administer, I believe, for Erie County, maybe Clarion County, and a couple other counties. Yeah. What's the resolution number?
100.
Okay, big 100. I'll take a motion to approve resolution 2022-100.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we have Assessor, resolution for discussion and possible approval of compromise settlement with property designated by Parceling 25-305054. JR, what do we have going on?
Good morning. There's a compromise settlement agreement between the Board of Assessment Appeals and the county for a property parcel ID 25-305054. The original assessment on this was $300,000, and based off of the sketch check program, it increased it up to $376,200. Found some discrepancies on the sketch of the property. The property owner then filed an appeal within the board, to which the board denied because the appraisal did not have the correct sketch information. So once that information got corrected, went up to common pleas court, and we came up with this settlement number of $340,300. It's an overall gain for the taxing bodies. It's still $40,300 based off the original assessment. To answer Dan's next question, none of the other board members, none of the other taxing bodies intervened, so none of them will need to make a motion on this. This is just between the County Board of Appeals and the County Commissioners.
All right, Dan, any questions?
Well, thank you. I do have a couple and actually one left because JR did answer the one I had. Thank you, JR. JR, just for the record, in what municipality is this particular parcel located?
It's in Neshannock Township.
And thank you. And then to your recollection, is it a residential, commercial, industrial? What type of property is it?
It's a residential home, I believe it's a one-story home.
Thank you. Those are my questions, and I appreciate your answering them, JR.
All right, I will take a motion to approve 101.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. We have a motion secondly for discussion. Hearing none, question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Up next, 102. This resolution is a contract for the replacement of 2 panels damaged by a fallen tree. Installation of ultra aluminum industrial style UAF flat top 54 by 8 panels and 3 by 3 posts located at Croton Avenue, Newcastle, PA. Price quote is $1,286.82. Dan, do you have any questions on that?
I assume is Amy still there for
Yeah, I'm
us to
still here.
answer this?
Yep.
And assuming she's the appropriate person to ask, Amy, is this along the paved trail down on Croton Avenue, or am I thinking of another?
No, it's along the sidewalk, sir, leading up to the entrance to the Neshannock Trail. It was a part of our PennDOT project that, from the bridge to the entrance of the Neshannock Trail. It happened about a month and a half ago. Bill Humphrey had somebody go out and give us a quote, and then Joe and Christine and I kind of looked to see if it was worth turning in for our insurance, and it's not, because it's only a little over $1,000. So this will just replace those 2 panels.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Amy. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely. I'll take a motion to approve 102.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. We have a motion to second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 103, resolution for discussion of possible approval to allocate $40,000 to Wilmington Township Means Road Bridge. This is coming out of our Act 13 fund. Bill Humphrey did some gymnastics to be able to qualify that culvert for the Act 13 fund. I'll note that this pretty much drains the balance of the fund. At the same time, we're certainly we're in a position to help, and we want to help. And this allocates a nice chunk of money to Wilmington to get that bridge fixed. Dan, you have any questions on that?
And I'll ask you to maybe verify this, that we are helping them at least in part. The total cost was obviously more than $40,000, but we're able to help them to that extent. Am I correct?
Yes, and it's candidly, it's literally all the money in the fund. It's all the money in the fund. So we're helping them to the maximum extent that we can.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I'll take a motion to approve 103.
I'll make the motion.
Well, second, we have a motion to second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we have the simple budget amendment here at DA's office. I purposefully zeroed out these accounts when I wrote the budget because the dollar figures that flow into them fluctuate so often year to year, and it's just easier to do a budget amendment versus try to estimate expenses and revenues. So the DA forfeiture revenue account is increasing by $33,000, and their corresponding expense account is increasing by $33,000, and the result is just current forfeiture deposits. Any questions on that, Dan?
No question.
I'll take a motion to approve 104.
I'll so move.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we have a number of administrative transfers. We have $5,000 from Commissioner Contingency to General Administration, and that's funds needed to pay for some invoices for Taylor Engineering. These are invoices that we can't take out of liquid fuels. We check, can't do it. Up next, we have jail, moving some money from the jail's contingency fund, the amount of a little over $21,000 to jail medical expenses for medications not covered by our contract with Prime Care. Recycling solid waste, they're moving $750 from contingency to vehicle expenses. Candidly, this is due to the increase in the price of gas that we didn't, we accounted for a little bit of it. We didn't account for as much of the hike that we've seen in the past couple of months. And then
Morgan, could I ask just a quick question?
yes,
I don't know if you've had an opportunity to talk to Mr. Zona or not, but, or maybe Joe can answer this, to either of your knowledge, do you believe this is gonna be enough to get them through the end of the year, or do you think we'll hear from them again?
well, it depends on what the price of gas goes up to.
I think it has to do with the, and then, if we don't see any further unforeseen breakdowns with brakes or anything else that we'd have to transfer to that account, we should be okay.
Okay, thank you both.
And then up next, we just have some basic budget transfers out of Cdbg. Elwood City is, and a number of other municipalities are switching over some of their programming. So Elwood City is moving $16,000 from their blight removal program to their housing rehab. Shenango Township is moving about $14,500 from their admin to their public facilities. Shenango is moving $20,000 from their blight to their rehab. We're moving about $10,000 from our county admin to our county rehab. And then Union is moving $15,700 from their PPE to their teams to fund some food distributions. So there's some administrative transfers. We're reshuffling some of the Cdbg programs and some of the Cdbg CV programs. Questions on that, Dan?
No question.
Up next, we've got a $31,000 transfer from our capital, but it's in our capital budget. Thankfully, we budgeted some money for unanticipated repairs. This is $31,000 from a general maintenance expense capital line item to a jail capital item to pay for some elevator work that had to happen at the jail to make sure those elevators are still operating. Public defender, we're moving from their contingency $1471 to maintenance. I'm probably, in this specific instance, I just probably made a mistake in the computation of the budget. I might have allocated some money, instead of putting it in maintenance, I probably put it in equipment lease rent. So they're just moving some money over to cover their leases for office machines. Any questions, comments on any of those, Dan?
No question.
All right. I'll take a motion to approve administrative transfers 1 through 6.
I will make that motion.
Thank you. I'll second that. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have no ordinances on the table for deduction for final action. Commissioners meeting will be held next Tuesday, May 31 at 10 a.m. in the Commissioners meeting room. Now I'm thinking about it. I might not be able to attend that one because I have a meeting down in Cranberry at noon on that day with Southwest Pennsylvania Commission and Mercer County. And I'll note there will also be a retirement board meeting today, probably closer to 11 when Sarah Wilson gets in. And that's where we're at. Dan, am I missing any announcements?
We're closed on Monday for Memorial Day, I believe.
Yes.
And then also, I do want to make note, and I appreciate your reminding us of the retirement board meeting. You and I have talked, and it appears as though we will have a quorum for that meeting to take place with yourself and Controller Prestapine and either Treasurer Rapone or his deputy. And you need 3 for a quorum, and it looks like you'll be able to conduct the business.
Yes. And thankfully also I don't believe there's any action items that are being taken today. It's more informational than anything, which is one of the reasons that we went forward with that meeting. If there were action items, we probably would have rescheduled it for another date.
Certainly. I appreciate that you're able to transact the business. I'm sorry that I am going to, at some point here, have to get back into my other meeting, but sorry that I have to miss retirement board, but I know it's in, very capable hands. Thank you.
We'll try not to bankrupt it today. And on that note, are there any public comments?
Gary Carr, 994 Indian Run Road, Wilmington Township. So I'll give you this letter to be entered into the record. On April 18th of 2022, I submitted a right to know request to the county's, regarding the county's policy and procedure for video retention of the government building surveillance cameras. Yesterday, my request was denied. Apparently, the county does not have a retention policy, and therefore the public has no way to request surveillance video of the election drop box in the foyer. For the record, I'm asking that the county commissioner create a video surveillance policy for the county government building cameras. On April 20th, I spoke at the Board of Elections meeting and stated that my brief review of the February 2nd, 2021 voter roll I purchased from the state and the votes cast list for the November 3rd, 2020 general election results in Wilmington Township did not match. I noted at the time that the votes cast list I received from the county on January 27th, 2021, just 10 days difference, contained the names of 1,495 voters. However, the general election results on the county website indicate that 1,500 votes were cast. And when the totals for the two Wilmington Township precincts were added and it left out, it should have said for the presidential votes. There were only 1,483 votes cast for president. Moreover, the voter roll I received from the state indicates that 1,812 people voted during the presidential election. So that's a huge discrepancy between what the county reported and what the state has. According to the state voter roll database for Wilmington Township, 34 people voted in the 2020 election. However, their names are not included on the votes cast record I received from the county. According to the votes cast record, 37 names are recorded that are not listed as registered voters on the state voter roll. That's a discrepancy of 71 voters. Wilmington Township has only 1,855 registered voters on the voter roll, approximately. So the discrepancies I noted above accounts for 4.8% of registered voters based on the 1,483 voters listed on the votes cast list, or 4.7 based on the total number of voters listed on the county website, and 3.9 according to the state voter roll. The County Board of Elections explained at the May 16th, 2020 meeting that the votes cast list is fluid. The board also stated that any spoiled ballots were recorded as having voted, even though their votes were not added to the election totals. The votes cast list is not a fluid record. It is a record of who voted in a particular election. The variations noted above are unacceptable, and the board must investigate why these discrepancies exist. Finally, the Sunshine Law requires that the meeting agendas be published on the website at least 24 hours before a meeting. As of today, they are still not listed. And for the record, I would like my public comments attached with the meeting minutes, which I also requested at the last meeting.
Request denied.
I object to that because just so you know, you work for us. It's not the other way around. We pay your taxes, and I'm filing a complaint, and you are required by law to investigate it. You also, during the May 16th election board meeting, completely ignored all of my statements that I made about the voter roll.
Wasn't an election board meeting, that was a board of commissioners meeting.
On the 16th,
I believe so. When you
the
came
one
in,
that you did not publish the agenda for.
first of all, I believe we did public, Carrie, I'm not even gonna get into it. This is an election board meeting. This is a board of commissioners meeting. Your comments are noted. Thank you very much.
For the record, you can refer to me as Mrs. Hahn because I'm old enough to be your mother.
That's Mr. Chairman to you.
I didn't call you Morgan.
Robin, you have anything? Good to have you with us. On that note, I will adjourn the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners meeting.
Thank you, everybody.
How incredibly rude.